Hey, VC Jack here. Welcome to Vinyl Martini. Been a long time since I've shown some records that I've picked up recently. These are not recent records. I've had these since probably the end of June, beginning of July. But it's been such a busy summer. I haven't had the chance to show these records. But before I show you the records, I just want to give a shout out to my buddy Anthony. He's got a channel name change, and he used to be Gambler 812, but he's changed his channel name to Anthony Gambler 812. I'm going to provide a link below so that if you haven't subscribed to Anthony's channel yet, you'll know the new name. Please sub him up. If you've many of you have already been subscribed to Anthony. Such a great guy, shows some great stuff. He's I saw him this summer. Wonderful host, great guy. So if you haven't subbed him, sub him up. And if you have, just keep on watching and give him some likes because he does some great content. Next up, I got a birthday gift from my friends Reg and Ingrid, more specifically Ingrid. Reg's my crate digging buddy. And Ingrid gave me this nice martini glass. It's plastic, so it's going to go in the camping box. Thanks for that, Ingrid. And Ingrid is a knitter, and I don't know if you can see this, but she knit me some beautiful olives to go along with my martini glass. So thank you so much, Ingrid. It's going to go in pride of place up here, fitting with the channel name, Vinyl Martini. There's my new martini glass. Okay. I got these records in one of my favorite record stores in Port Coquitlam. I've banged on about them before, Apollo Records. Great store, really fair prices, really interesting stuff. They've got a great dollar bin selection upstairs, which I always raid, and today that trip was no different. So I have relatively few records to show you. If you've been watching my channel, you know I always show you a pile. But so let's get started. First off, my buddy Steve in All the World's a Stage, he's done something like 545 videos in the last 2 years or so. And in at least 200 of those videos, he's mentioned this guy, one of his favorite artists. But I finally got a Tommy Bolin record, Tommy Bolin's first record called Teaser. Tommy Bolin, played with Deep Purple, great session player, great guitarist. Really happy to find this near mint copy. It's a first press. There you go, Steve. And on top of that, I didn't just get that one. I got his second record, Private Eyes. Haven't played this one yet, but I'm sure it's just fine. Tragically died when he's, I think, 27 or so. Always had problems with the drinks and the drugs, as was the case back in the day. Next up, I've picked up this Marvin Gaye album, and it's called In Our Lifetime, a 1981 release. Last record he did for Motown before going to Columbia and then recording his last album. But this one, he was working on a project called Man Love, or Love Man, I think, Love Man, which did not go well. He went back in the recording. Of course, he's had lots of drug problems and problems in the recording studio, but this one is not without controversy. I love this cover, by the way. It encapsulates his life very well. You got the angelic Marvin on one side, and you've got the devilish Marvin on the other side of that picture. Released a little, I think Motown released this without Marvin's approval because he was dithering, and they just wanted to get some material out. So they added some guitars and they remixed it. But this is a fine record. Marvin Gaye is such a great singer. What a talent. What a waste of a great artist. Tragic end, of course, being shot by his father. But happy to have this copy of Marvin Gaye. Nice condition. Pick up Marvin Gaye records whenever I can, whenever they're in good condition. Next up, band I don't really know anything about, but I've known about them for a long time. I think my buddy Mike talks about a band called the Bodines. I think they're from Wisconsin, Milwaukee area, or just outside of the Milwaukee area. This is their first record, 1984, mid-80s stuff. College radio kind of album. Yeah, nice condition. That one was like 12 bucks. Perfect condition. And I got their follow-up as well. And this is the Bodines, Outside Looking In. This one was produced by Jerry Harrison of the Talking Heads. Again, great condition. This one cost me 9 bucks. Such a great store. Always find great stuff there. And that trip, I managed to walk out of the store spending less than $100, which is very, very unusual. Next up, a band that I know is one of Brian's favorites, the Embryonic Robot, Lloyd Cole and the Commotions. This one's called Rattlesnakes. Date on this, again, very, very small, small, it's 1984. There we go. I got it. I need to upgrade my lens prescription here. But Lloyd Cole and the Commotions from 1984. British band. Looking forward to giving this a spin. I haven't even listened to any of these records yet. I've got so many records that are in the queue. Pretty famous record, Bob Dylan, Basement Tapes. I've been after this record for a long, long time. And I thought I'd have to buy a reissue, but I came across this copy. It was in the as-is bins. Apollo Records has some pretty high standards. Usually, you always have to do your due diligence, but if you buy a record like this Lloyd Cole and the Commotions record, you know it's going to be in mint condition. This one has a slight mark on one of the sides, but apart from that, it's in beautiful shape. It's got some tape on the top here, which I can overlook. Glad I didn't have to buy a reissue for that. I think this one was 12 bucks, so it's great to have this in the collection, add it to my Bob Dylan collection, and fantastic stuff with Robbie Robertson and the boys. Everybody knows the story behind the Basement Tapes. I don't have to go on about that, do I? Next up, these are all from the dollar room, the dollar bins. And I was thinking about my buddy Art, North Carolina vinyl picker, picked up a Jean-Luc Ponty album. It's called Aurora. It's got a little bit of damage here on the cover, but the record is VG++. $1 for Jean-Luc Ponty, Jazz Fusion. And another Jean-Luc Ponty album called Imaginary Voyage. This one's on Atlantic Records. Again, pretty good shape, a little bit of damage there. Record's in fantastic shape. $1 for an album called Imaginary Voyage from Jean-Luc Ponty. You know, I love my country, love my bands from Texas. Found this copy of Asleep at the Wheel. I'm a big Asleep at the Wheel fan. From Austin, Texas, of course. Western swing, country music, fantastic. $1 for that. Couldn't leave that one behind. Asleep at the Wheel. Next up, another singer-songwriter that is really easy to pick up his records cheap. This is Steve Forbert, Little Stevie Orbit. Fantastic songwriter. I always feel that his career was badly affected by critics calling him the next Bob Dylan. Who can live up to that? But Little Stevie Forbert from 1980. Great little record there. And I bought some more Steve Goodman records. I know that Headley would probably enjoy seeing these records. Steve Goodman, a friend of John Prine. John Prine did a little blurb on here. This is a 1971 record on Buddha Records, just called Steve Goodman. I've been listening to the radio since I was 3 years old. I figured by now I could see songs better than most people listen to them. The first time I heard Steve Goodman on the radio, I knew I was listening to a tall, skinny cat with a little beard singing the best damn train song I ever heard. 2 months later, in the back room at the Earl of Old Town, I met a short, stout fellow with no beard who wrote and sang the best train song I ever heard. His name was Steve Goodman. The Lord works in mysterious ways. quote from John Prine. Actually, Steve Goodman and Chris Christopherson went to see. Steve Goodman brought Chris Christopherson to see John Prine playing in a club before he recorded his first record, and they were instrumental in helping John get a record deal. So fantastic to have this. This is, I don't know if this is his first record, probably his second record, I would say. And it is on Buddha Records, again for $1 in immaculate shape. Another Steve Goodman record, this time on Asylum Records when he made the jump to Asylum. This is Steve Goodman, Jesse's Jig, and Other Favorites from 1975 on Asylum. Steve jumped to a few labels in his career. He did not have a long career. He died when in his late 30s, I think, tragically. But there you go, another Steve Goodman. And lastly, a promotional copy of a Steve Goodman song on a Steve Goodman album on Asylum Records. It is called Hotspot, promotional copy, not for sale. $1 for these records. I mean, I'm not going to leave them behind, especially for one of my favorite singer-songwriters. So there you go. That's all I got. So pretty short video for me. I am going to go crate digging with my buddy Reg this Thursday. We're going to go up to Nanaimo. Yeah, Rachel's ghost territory. I don't think we'll see Rachel, but Rachel, if you're watching, hey, let me know. We can meet you up at the Fascination Rhythm. Great record store. What else is happening? Going to do a couple of contest entries coming up this week. I'm going to do one for Olivier and the French Vinyl Lounge. And yeah, going to do maybe a thread or two. But anyways, it's been a busy summer. I'm back to, I think I'm back to normalcy. I say that because I realized that I'm actually flying back east in about a week and a half. So I will be doing some more crate digging in Kingston. So lots coming up. Stay tuned, stick around. I will see you in a couple of days in my next contest entry. Like I said, thank you very much for watching. Give me a like if you feel like it. Please comment. I always respond to my comments. I'm behind in my comments. I promise I'm gonna fix that up today. So thanks for watching. Till next time. Cheers, guys.